Let us welcome Representative Penny Shaw.
Just had that conversation with all the CEOs of the Bitcoin mining companies in Texas. I wanted to bring up Representative Penny Shaw. Representative Shaw, thanks for joining us today. You were on one of those first mining tours, right, with your colleagues there in the Texas House and the Texas Senate. Tell us a little bit about that experience. Well, first of all, what made you want to, when we contacted your office, what made you want to come with us on that tour? It was a half a day, it was almost a full day out of your valuable time. What made you want to do that with us?
As an attorney of 20 years, and I'm a general counsel, besides state rep, which is my part-time job, I'm a full-time attorney and general counsel for a crypto startup, and got involved in blockchain technology probably 5 or 6 years ago. So when I even heard that there was a blockchain farm in Texas, I was super excited, and I was ready to go take a look and see what it was all about.
Tell the audience about that day. What was it like? What did you see?
Well, if you're not from Texas, you drive an hour out and you're kind of in open country, right? And so that's where we were, and we're just going down these side roads and winding roads, and then we just come upon this area that looks like it's been completely renovated, and there's these long, sprawling warehouse-looking buildings, and it just looks like a new development site that of some kind of industry when you go in. And that day was kind of a rainy day. But we got into the buildings and started touring, and I'm not going to tell you all the details because as an attorney, I know some of that might be trade secrets. But you see these 20 to 30 foot walls of the mining material and machines, and then you go out and see other innovative projects where they're mining in a different capacity, and you just see rows and rows and walls and all of the advanced technology that's out there. It really gave me a sense of pride to know that, a lot of this stuff in Texas is kind of, old country, old style tradition, and that's kind of what we're known for. So to see a blockchain facility here is just a tremendous source of pride. And I want to talk a little bit, if it's okay, about not just that innovation, the way that blockchain is coming to Texas and innovating the financial realm, but this particular facility that we were at, not only did we get to see that kind of innovation, we got to see entrepreneurs who were thinking about HR innovations and community relations and building innovations. Environmental concerns. They were concerned about their impact and their footprint in the environment. And I think for so many of us, especially at the Texas legislature, these types of topics touch every policy that we deal with. So to see not only the innovation and the bringing in of archaic financial systems up into the 21st century and beyond, but to know that the mindset of these individuals and entrepreneurs, they're thinking about what is a livable wage? How are we going to have a positive impact on the environment? And this panel that was just up here touched on that. They touched on wind and solar. And I think that's something that it's refreshing, and I look forward to the blockchain industry being a host and garnering in that evolution that we have been talking about for a long time, and we know that we need, because you and I and everyone else, we drink the water, we breathe the air, and we get to bike in these parks and do all that, and we want to keep doing that for generations to come. So I love to see that those innovations are coming in hand.
That's great. So talk a little bit about the importance of, in Texas, the legislature in Austin gets a lot more bills passed in any given session than in DC. There seems to be more gridlock in DC. How can we work across the aisle with colleagues across the aisle to bring this bipartisan cooperation around blockchain? Because it really is a nonpartisan issue. So talk a little bit to that.
Definitely. First, I want to say, just affirm what you just said, because it really is. When you think about everyday people's access to financial services, and it was just touched on a little earlier, that we know that there are 60 million people who don't have bank accounts, And if this technology can put people, and that's what this technology is all about, peer-to-peer, direct contact, control. So if we can increase the number of people, individuals from any zip code that can have access and control more and more of their own data, number one, but financial fluency, number two, whether that just looks like the ability to get microloans or the ability to access capital, that's not a Republican or Democratic issue, right? That's an every person issue. And that's something that's inspires me to want to support policy that helps this innovation move forward. As far as the legislators, we work together on everything. There's 150 of us in the Texas legislature. And I think the first thing, and it was touched on earlier, is education, because I'm one of a few of the legislators that just happens to have been in touch with blockchain before. And I'm a new legislator. I've only been here a year, legislator. But I joined the IT caucus right away. When I heard that it was there, I thought, well, great. And then when I heard they were involved in blockchain, that was even greater, because that serves me both in my legislative capacity, knowing, because a lot of the issues that come before us, and I think Senator Cornyn talked about this before, or Senator Cruz, we don't necessarily get into the deep dive or to the nitty-gritty nuanced details of different areas that require policy making. And of course, we want to keep policy making out of blockchain as much as possible, right? Wink, wink. But we don't get that deep into the weeds. So if there's going to be policy developed around blockchain, we need the legislators to know as much as they can, to understand, but not only to understand, but to appreciate the value that it's bringing, like some of the ones we talked about, the job market, and just innovating the financial industry and all of the promises that it has for, whether it's the healthcare industry, whether it's, food supply and, the food supply, or digital assets, all of that. We need to know more about that. So I know probably about a month or two ago, we had BitBoy come to the Capitol, and he did a presentation for us. And any of you who are interested in your niche of the industry, coming to do that, you'll have a reception. You will have an audience at the Texas Capitol.
Representative Shaw, thank you for being here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Representative Shaw.
Thank you.